Hey, welcome back. I'm CJ. This is the Dirty Landry Experience, and have we got a rumor? A fact for you. I I heard the other day, and let's just say it's a silly rumor, and it's never going to happen, right? But this is the New York Giants. The word on the street, on several different platforms and sources out there, is that Matt Stafford and the New York Giants might get married pretty soon. Now, the Rams, who currently have him under contract, don't want to restructure the contract, and Stafford wants to. The Rams are also apparently tired of his wife going on social media and saying things and stuff like that. But those are silly things. Those are just things that start rumors. But when you start hearing it from multiple sources, there's got to be something to it. But the part of it that makes me kind of go like, no way, is the New York Giants would then trade their third overall pick as part of the package to get Stafford. I don't know that that makes a whole lot of sense. But if you forget that part of it and you were to add Stafford and maybe Cooper Kupp to the New York Giants, because Kupp's on his way out of there too, if you had an offensive line, the receivers that Stafford could throw to, Neighbors, Slayton, Wandale, and Kupp. And really, if you're a Giant fan, that's not so bad. So, for the moment, to get things going on Rumorville here, quarterback roulette, the offseason wheeling and dealing and such, let's just assume that it's true that Stafford winds up with the New York Giants. So, what's next? Because now the Rams are going to need a quarterback. Bennett and Jimmy G, well, they're not the ones going to lead them to the promised land, and I think that they still think that they have a shot at getting to another Super Bowl. And it is a good team, so they're going to need a good quarterback, which is why the Stafford thing, well, I don't think is going to happen, but let's just, as we said, it's happened, right? So what happens next? Domino 1 is off the board. Now the fun begins, and now everybody can start thinking, ooh, where's Kirk Cousins going to go? How about Justin Fields, Russ Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and maybe Derek Carr's going to go somewhere. And the reason I mentioned Carr is there's a rumor of Aaron Rodgers going to the Saints. Now, once you hear the Aaron Rodgers rumors, well, actually, you know what? Pretty much every team in the league has had an Aaron Rodgers rumor. And so I would just suggest he's probably going to retire, but what's an off season without some kind of Aaron Rodgers drama? It's just what it is these days. But there's also another guy out there that can start a real bidding war and a conversation amongst teams, because roughly 25% of the league, or even more, actually probably needs a quarterback. So here's the list of the teams that I look at that I think, oh, well, yeah, they could probably. The Rams, if they trade Stafford, will definitely need a quarterback. Tennessee needs a quarterback, and I'm not sure if they want Ward or Sanders or someone who's an existing quarterback. Probably will draft one. The Colts, they have Richardson, but are you really sure that they're happy with that? I don't know. The Saints, well, Carr, right? The Raiders, rumor is Wilson. Pittsburgh, if they lose Fields and Wilson, they're going to need a quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh, I heard that one. When you stop turning green, I'll continue. The Jets, speaking of green, they're in the market to ruin yet another quarterback. And the Cleveland Browns, they've got Watson on IR, and that was a horrible mistake, but they could rectify that. And I would suggest the Giants, but no, we've got Stafford there, so we don't have to talk about that. No, they still need a quarterback. And maybe even Seattle. By the time they're ready to challenge for a Super Bowl, I don't think Geno Smith's going to be the guy. So having a young player, or another player on that roster that could step in when Geno Smith stops, that's not such a horrible idea. Now remember, we're having fun here, right? We're just trying to, like, in my world, it's like, well, I heard this, I heard that, and I'm just relaying that to you. And some of it's fun and some of it's kind of just dumb, but what the hell? Or heck, sorry. Justin Fields, where does he fit? Now, Justin Fields is not a starting quarterback in the NFL, so get that one off the table right now. This is year 5 for him. Chicago gave up on him. Pittsburgh was 4-2, and they sat him. He's a fifth-year player who hasn't been able to overcome the odds to be the starter because there's only 32. But he would be a great backup in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, could trade Kirk Cousins and keep a ton of his salary. I like Kirk Cousins. I think that Achilles injury really took its toll on him mechanic-wise. And as he started to decline over the season, he did have some great games, and I think a good place for him might be Cleveland. I heard that one. That one didn't... I kind of like that one, actually. They got lots of cap space because, you know, they got Watson on IR, so they get relief for that. Russell Wilson. Well, I think Russell Wilson's going to go wind up with Pete Carroll with the Raiders. So I don't think that one's much of a... I think that rumor is probably right. And Wilson, who is a free agent, would mean that Pittsburgh now needs a quarterback. Enter Aaron Rodgers. Another team. Now, if you're a Steeler fan, you've already turned green. You've already puked. But, you know, it's not the worst idea in the world. He did have a decent year with a horrible team last year, but it is Aaron Rodgers, and I do understand your concerns. But while we're on Rodgers, he is from California, and the Rams, you know, they think they got drama with Stafford's wife and all that that's going on. You know, Rodgers is his own drama series all by himself. So we could care. Never mind. Now, if all of that were to happen, right, then these are the teams that are left that need a quarterback. So we got Tennessee, but they got first pick. They could take Ward or Sanders, whatever. The Saints have picked 9. Not sure there'd be a quarterback there for them, but they do have Carr. And if they did trade Carr, they'd probably want to move up in the draft a little bit. The Colts have pick 14. Not sure they're sold on Richardson, but by pick 14, I'm not sure there's another Bo Nix around. Seattle, we mentioned that. I just don't think that. I think they might be in the market for a quarterback in round 2, 3, or 4. I think, you know. The Jets, hey, they're still looking for a quarterback to ruin again. You know, they do that, seem to be every year. And the Giants, if they do have pick 3, probably are looking at a quarterback as well. And of course, we talked about the Rams already. So that's the fun of the offseason, is trying to figure out where all these guys are going to go. But we have one monkey wrench in the whole thing. Enter J.J. McCarthy. He's a player on a very good team, a team that won 14 games last season. And him being available could ruin all those ideas and master plans. Who wouldn't want him? 10th overall pick last year. You know, it would create one heck of a bidding war for Minnesota. And Minnesota not exactly in desperate need of a quarterback. They thought they were signing Sam Darnold last year. And what they wound up with was sweet Sammy Darnold, 14-3. So you're not going to get rid of him. You got the 10th overall pick on the bench, and you have Danny Dimes on your roster as well, and he'd be a great backup. So, you know, the money-wise and trade-wise and what you could get for J.J. McCarthy, it makes sense for Minnesota to put him on the block. And all of a sudden, if you look at that list, and I got the list right here, you think Tennessee would want him? You think he's better than Ward? I don't know. The Saints, definitely. The Colts, probably. Seattle, yeah. The Giants, yeah. The Rams. I mean, I don't know how many teams in the league that wouldn't want him on their team. And the bidding should just go up and up and up. So this offseason, Aaron Rodgers might not be the focus. It might be a young man named J.J. McCarthy, and I look forward to that. But in the meantime, congratulations to the New York Giants on Matt Stafford being your savior. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching this. I'll be back next week. Got to have some teeth pulled. This is not going to be fun. It's not going to be a fun week anyway. So please like and subscribe and share this with your friends and comment on where you think all these quarterbacks are going to go. All this stuff here, that was just stories I read and rumors from around the thing. The only one I really think that I like 2 of them. I like Justin Fields going to Atlanta as a backup. Never mind what happens with Kirk Cousins. And I like Russell Wilson going back with Pete Carroll. Your thoughts? I'm CJ. That is the Dirty Landry Experience. Have yourself a great week and stay warm.